grab a drink and a familiar, cozy up by a bubbling cauldron, and join us for this meeting of the Sisters of the Night Caucus. Say hello, sisters.
Hello, I am Katie.
I'm Angela, who's eating spanakopita.
Yeah,
Sorry.
nuts. And I'm Gillian, and here we are. Um, I'm so proud of us. 3 episodes in a row recording roughly when we said we were going to do it. It was during the
Winners,
same weekend.
winners. Look at
Uh,
us. We're back, babies. We got our
we're so
shit
back.
together.
Mm-hmm. So today, instead of hexes, we're going to be talking about the 10 commandments of campaigns. I somehow suspect that at future points there will be more than 10 commandments. But for now, uh, 10. And I'm going to hand it over, Katie, to you since you, I guess, and Angela talked about this. And so I'm intrigued.
Yes. And
Late at
excuse me
night when I was
as
asleep.
I'm dealing with making my tea. Um,
Yep.
we're gonna come up with 10 commandments of campaigns. Angela has one already. Hopefully she
Mm,
remembers it.
yeah.
There might be a second one that I might need to remember. But needless to say, the
Oh,
three of us are
Jesus.
gonna come up with 10 commandments
Hmm.
and we're going to invite feedback on those. Maybe it ends up being 15 commandments. I don't know.
I disagree with this. There's got to be 10. It's
Okay.
discernment. We can
There
we
be
can
sub
have more than
commandments.
we can have more
Yeah.
suggestions, but then it's got to be the top 10. Got to rise to
Hmm.
the I can't do commandments that aren't 10.
Okay. That's
You know how
that's
you
fair. I think that's fair.
You know how like
Well, I'm
sometimes you
gonna
guys
take
have that
notes.
thing where numbers are colors and
Mm,
words have
yeah.
vibes.
Yeah.
I got 10 commandments. That's all I got.
I will be
Yeah,
taking
no, I get
notes.
that. All right. Well,
So
do you remember
this was
yours, Angela?
born. Oh yeah. Well, listen, let
Oh,
me just
excellent.
explain how this was
Yeah.
born.
Okay.
So, um, so Duncan did that 90s themed commercial in the Super Bowl. Um, and friend of the pod and dear listener, Danny. Hi, Danny. Uh,
Hi,
Danny,
Danny.
Danny, made me aware that if you put the code Goodwill Dunkin into the Dunkin app, you got a free large iced or hot, but of course I got iced coffee. However, what I didn't realize is that it was only good until February 11th. And I decided to check when it was good until at like 5 o'clock on February 11th. Uh, so for reference for all listening, I have a rule that I don't consume caffeine after noon, because I am sensitive to it. And also I get nightmares. So I think that's real. Uh, However, I was not going to miss out on a free $5.68 large iced coffee.
Not
And
when
so,
Dunkin' Donuts is like is like a block from your house.
and Dunkin' Donuts is a block from my house. And so I got a large iced coffee, chocolate cold foam. It was mocha and toasted almond and coconut, and it was divine. Um,
Yay, I love
and
that.
then I was like a squirrel on crack. Um, My brain was just like, and and so um it was brought to our attention that there is a race, it's actually a Democratic primary challenge
Mhm.
in the state ledge in which the incumbent had purchased the challenger's web domain. Well, I'm not saying they did it directly, but like
Right, but
this is a thing that had
the web
happened. And we,
domain of the challenger's name was purchased by someone that was not them.
yes, yes, and was redirected to the
Hmm.
incumbent campaign site.
Hmm.
Um,
No.
It was intimated in a tweet or a post, I don't know. I just saw a screenshot. I don't know from which platform this was. That this was like some kind of show of concern or weakness on the part of the incumbent. And I had to laugh so hysterically because this is campaign 101, and this is how we got to the 10 campaign commandments. Because in
Yes.
my mind, if you do not, the absolute moment you decide you're going to run, not after you announce, but
Mm-hmm.
before you do anything else, if you do not purchase all of your domains and your social, start your social media accounts,
Mm-hmm.
have all of that stuff in order before you even announce, you deserve to have your stuff bought. The end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Very much so. I am a big fan of that. And for people who think that it's weak sauce on the part of the incumbent, let me just remind y'all of like all the enthusiasm people have when, something related to the federal administration gets bought and then redirected to something
Mm-hmm.
funny and or ironic.
Yeah.
So, you know, same principle here.
Yeah.
And
To
to
reiterate,
continue, to
if you
continue
didn't,
the,
if
yeah,
you didn't buy it, if
yeah,
you didn't get your crap locked down,
yeah.
that's on you,
That's
man.
that's
That's
on
on
you.
you.
That is
But
on you.
the continued iteration of this is I was driving back from an evening presentation over 2 hours away and had also had lots of caffeine later in the day so I could stay awake on my drive home. So
Mm-hmm.
Angela and I talked until almost 1 in the morning and decided that we forced today's agenda on Gillian.
Which I'm fine with. I'm fine and used to it. I'm fine and frankly, listen, on my other podcast with Connor, he just like flat and I'm gonna fix this, but he just like refuses to give me an agenda. I'm just vibing. I'm gonna fix that problem. But yeah, no, I don't. This is low level. I'm fine with this.
I mean,
So
this is just spitballing. It's a,
I love it,
this is good. We're
which we do
loosey-goosey,
often.
baby.
Hmm.
Loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
so we have one commandment, and I'm taking notes, dear friends.
Okay. Well, and
Buy
it'll be in the show notes. Never fear.
buy opposition domains.
Yeah.
Number one.
No, buy your own. Buy
Buy
your
your own
own.
domains and squat on your social media before you announce.
Well, I'm going to put both down.
Yeah, I feel like kind of 1A is buy your opponent's stuff if you can.
Okay. That's one commandment. I just made a number two. What's a number two? Oh, I've got one.
I got one
Yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Me
not
too.
buy a campaign billboard unless you have money to burn.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Three,
Mm-hmm.
print union, print union, print
Mm-hmm.
union.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, I have one, and it is this. 70% of your money comes from dialing for dollars.
That's a very good one.
Call time is not optional.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, I'm writing.
Mm.
Um, and sort of like a sub one to that is call time is sacred.
It's just true, yeah.
Okay, we're up to four. What else is there, dear friends?
Mm. Yeah.
You cannot expect volunteers to be doing any more work than you are doing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good one.
Amen.
How's anyone gonna get out there, feel motivated to be knocking doors for you if you think you're above it?
Mm-hmm.
In
Absolutely.
parentheses, you're not above it.
In
You are
parentheses, you
not
better be
above it.
on doors any moment that you are literally not attending to
Knock those
professional or
doors.
family obligations.
Mm-hmm.
Call
Knock those
time,
doors.
doors.
Yeah, no, I will. And here's an example of like a family obligation is we had people door knocking yesterday for Caleb McCoy in the 79th, and it was Valentine's Day. Um and the way that I celebrated that was like partway through the day, I like popped into my bedroom and I was like, "Hey, babe, I keep forgetting to tell you Happy Valentine's Day." And he was like, "I keep forgetting to tell you too, Happy Valentine's Day." And we were like, "Cool." Um, but so Caleb himself was supposed to knock doors that day. I wasn't forcing that. He told me he was going to knock doors. And then he stopped by at 3 and he was like, "So I think I'm not going to knock doors today because I think I need to spend time with my wife on Valentine's Day." And I was like, "Completely acceptable. That's fine. That's okay." Like sometimes you got to spend some time with your lady, and if that is important to the both of you, then that is important. So,
Well, if I was CMing somebody and they said that, I'd be like,
listen, because here's the
what
only thing.
time?
He had
What
worked
time? What time is
all
your
day
dinner
up to this.
reservation?
No, yeah. He had worked up to that point in the day, so he like came directly from work to, in theory, knock doors, and then I was just like, you know what? No, it's fine. And only honestly, probably in this case, largely because he has been working so hard, um, that I can see how if I were his lady, I might be frustrated. Uh,
No, everything for the dream. You're either in or
but
you're out. You support your partner. You don't go, oh, but what about me? You go, we're gonna win. Leave it all on the court.
I
I
gotta
mean,
say,
that's also a fair and valid opinion.
over a decade ago, the last time a field directed, like really did it, I just got to say, my candidate's wife was at every campaign launch with us, knocking doors, communicating with me because she had family in the district. Like,
I
Not
don't need all
everybody's
that.
like that.
I don't need all that. No, I mean, I don't think there should be any obligation. The spouse is not choosing to run for office.
Yes.
Show your face every once in a while. That's fine. Everybody's different.
this
However,
was a
Yes.
tight race. The wife was
however,
tight.
don't wa-
Yeah.
don't become a problem.
Yeah.
Don't become a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't define this as a problem. I would
No,
say this is like
I'm
a
just an
one
asshole.
time. I
It's
know.
an okay. It's okay
We
to say
love you.
no, I'm an asshole.
Uh, so
We
I,
got
I think
five
I feel
more.
like what? No. We're up to 6 because I added knock those doors, but so I think we do want
No,
to
that was number five.
no, number 5 was you cannot expect volunteers to do more work than you do.
Yeah, but knocking doors was okay.
No, I mean in its entirety. Like that,
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
Um, but yeah, so listen, we would like
Got
you all.
one.
Yeah, oh wait.
I got
Okay,
just
one
one
more.
more.
One more.
Stay focused on your race. Meaning, do not
Mm,
allow people to pull you into issues that have nothing to do with the race you're running.
absolutely. Yes, 100% big time. Yes, that. Um, yeah.
I don't know.
And
We
like,
only have three left.
and we could like monologue on that forever because I mean,
We
that's from like
could, yeah.
local issues and getting involved. People, I watch candidates let
hmm
themselves get drug into drama. I see
Oh God. That's a
candidate
whole topic on its own.
yeah, drama is bad, but also like don't get baited into talking about national issues when you're running for like, you know, state
School
ledge
board.
or God forbid, like, your
Yeah.
local council. Like you should be talking about,
hmm
tax millage and infrastructure.
Yeah. Amen.
Eight.
Amen. Okay.
Know the office you are running for. Now, I don't expect candidates to be experts in
No.
all things, but if I ever hear a fucking state ledge candidate go Pennsylvania Congress, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. First of all. All right. Number two, number two, you sign up to run for local office, which is great. And like maybe it's pretty easy. Like, I mean, easy, not sort of. But like, no, if there's, say, a municipal manager in your municipality, um, basic things like that, that is like civics 101 about the office that you are running for. I don't expect
Mm.
people to be geniuses. I don't expect people to know every single issue that might be affecting folks, but you gotta know the basics.
Wait. I had a Republican local council candidate express complete shock and awe when I told him that he would have to do this all over again in the fall. And he was like, "What?
Yeah,
What? There's two elections?" And I was like, "Oh, wow. You
Wow.
don't even vote, do you? Like, what
yeah,
is happening?"
yeah, yeah,
And that was real. I mean, that was like real life. This person was a business owner. God bless their souls.
yeah.
But I almost fell over. I didn't even know what to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so just like I want to say too, like this is
They
not just
lost,
like
by the way.
listen,
They lost.
but imagine
So
my
there's that.
shock. Like new people are going to come into the arena and they're not going to know a lot. And so if you are new, like just number one, like please do a smidge of research, and number two, then also like have a bit of humility about what you don't know. Like don't walk in like you own the place and then it
Nine.
turns out you know almost nothing.
I think having humility is actually number nine.
Yeah, no, that's
Be
actually,
humble.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the words of Kung Fu Kenny, be humble.
Yeah, that actually only leaves us with one left.
Yeah.
I bet we can come up with it.
So so much for suggestions, folks.
No, no, we're still going to take suggestions because maybe somebody has one better than ours.
Listen, listen.
Okay, all right, fine.
Perhaps it's the 20 commandments of
Yeah.
of
Ten
campaigning.
Commandments Part Two.
Yeah, I like that better. I like that better. Yeah, no, that
Uh-huh.
makes me feel better.
Okay.
Okay.
We can come up with one more. I know we have it in us.
Okay. Um,
Yeah, Ten
okay. So let's
Commandments,
go
big deal.
over, yeah. What?
I don't know if
What?
this is a commandment. I don't
Okay.
know. I'm
Right.
waffling on if it's commandment level. Stop using so many words on things. Or
Mm. Mm.
find somebody, even if volunteer, if you don't have a lot of cash, who knows a little bit at a minimum about design. I don't know if this is commandment level.
You know
And
what? Actually,
how are we supposed to tell people to not use walls of text when the state party uses walls of text regularly? Sorry, I had to say it. Like I just have to say because you have to understand, like for newbies, they're looking at the PADMs as like this is the um this is the pinnacle of what I should be doing. This is the example, the official example. And so we can't yell at them for using walls of text when the party uses walls of text regularly.
I think I actually have the commandment that it encapsulates not just this, but other things as well. You are the candidate. Be the candidate. You're the captain of the team. You're not the whole team.
Mm,
Stop trying to do jobs that should not be yours to do, and which, by the way, you will often have people who want to help you. They can't help you if you do everything by yourself.
mm.
Well, yeah, duh. Yeah, 100%. You
Um,
gotta
I
you gotta
feel
have
like
trusted. You better have handful of people that you trust
Yeah.
yeah.
implicitly as to act in your steed. Because like I mean, I'm a pretty firm believer in no candidate should ever be touching their own social media, but that's just me. I understand that's difficult sometimes in smaller races, but
It is, but
We
yeah,
have,
I mean, I think like you gotta have people that you will trust to guide you at a bare minimum. Yeah. I mean, frankly, there are probably 10 commandments under each of these things, like probably 10
yeah.
commandments of field and social media and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you should give us your commandment suggestions. Um, that will be in
Are
the
we
in
gonna
the show
flesh this
notes.
things out? It's gonna end
Oh,
up
we
with
totally,
brackets. It's
I
gonna end
mean,
up
we
with
Oh, it's
could.
gonna end
brackets.
up. Oh yeah, it's probably gonna be like it's gonna have to be like its own massive document. I can't wait.
Oh,
But
Figma. This
yes.
would be a good Figma. This would be a good
Oh
Figma.
yeah, this would be a great Figma.
Hmm.
So yes, give us your commandment suggestions. You can find the link for that in the show notes. It'll be soups fun. Um, okay, so let's carry on. Um, I'm also told that you and Angela talked about an article,
We
which I
did.
have also now read. I will say this, I have read most of it. I skimmed, yeah. At some point, it's just like one of those things where there are many valid points, right? Which you mentioned, right? There are many valid points. But there's also a lot of it that I wanted to like punch something.
That's valid.
And I understand why there's an emotional response there for me. And it does not mean that the things in the article are not valid. But the article is called "Do Democrats Have a Plan?" It's from the Atlantic, and we have I will have a link in the show notes, so that you can check it out, should if you so choose.
Yeah, and I think the vast majority of that article
Hmm.
was very thought-provoking. There were a significant amount of accuracies.
Hmm.
Um, I think it was very telling.
Hmm.
I think it goes back to one thing that, frankly, we just sort of discussed in the Ten Commandments
Hmm.
is, with the like, know the office you're running for and like you're the candidate and have humility, all those kinds of things.
Hmm.
Um, your state legislative race is not a congressional race. You are not running to be the next Chuck Schumer tomorrow, right? I mean, I don't
Hmm.
know. Does he have a primary? Maybe somebody is. But like, there's also a difference when we're talking about the Democrats, and this article is incredibly focused on the federal level. It's not
Yes.
really focused down ballot. So
Yeah.
I want people, if and when they read this article, to understand the difference of national level and then everything down ballot. Because some of this resonates, some of this doesn't. So
And that I think was my like
yeah,
initial issue was like there is so much focus on the national level Democrats, and for good reason, for good reason. I will not deny that. But here's my other thing, right? Is like if you are an active Democrat at the local or state level, how much time do you spend in your day thinking about national level Democrats? How much time do you spend in a given week thinking about Ken Martin, the chair of the DNC? And I bet the answer is like a statistically insignificant amount of time. Because these people have almost nothing to do with what we do at the ground level. That we can see. Um, Certainly in theory, they're putting money into places, and that's cool. But like other than that, like Ken Martin doesn't like personally direct what state parties do.
no,
And so
and
like
yeah,
and the state party doesn't personally direct what the counties do. So like
no. So while I was a very bad churchgoer, this
Mm,
morning and
yeah.
may have reread the article and pulled out a bunch of quotes from it for us to
Hmm.
discuss today. And I'm going to go kind of in order. And if anyone else pulled out any other quotes, feel free to add
Okay.
them. I'm going in relative order here of probably the
Hmm.
most worthwhile to discuss.
Yeah.
So, in case somebody doesn't want to read the article because it is lengthy,
Hmm.
they're getting some quotes. So,
Yeah.
here's the first one that I pulled out. Republicans are over here being straight up mercenaries, Longwell said. Democrats
Mm.
give everybody Fridays off and talk about work life balance. She apologized for yelling into the phone. Democrats are not built for when the fascists come, she concluded.
Well, number one, they're here. So there's that. And number two, I so this like okay, this it comes, I believe, yeah, that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Comes on the tail of a piece of the article where they talk about how like there was a sort of small staff revolt when Ken Martin was like everybody has to go back to the office.
Correct.
And his thing was, oh, well, so many private companies and governments and whatever have already brought people back to the office. Okay, and I am just so very firmly of the belief that there is not a literally like an actual compelling reason that you need to physically be in the office. Why does it matter?
Um, I will disagree with that premise, but I don't want in the office either. I am a big fan um of hybrid work. I
Sure,
the
I mean,
studies
yes,
have
again,
shown
fine.
studies have shown over and over again in recent years that work from home or hybrid options are actually really good for people's mental health with when we're fighting fascists. That's a really good thing.
Sure.
um Taking care of stuff, people have been happier, people have been actually, a lot of folks, not all, but a lot of folks, especially our generation more or less, have been more productive, which capitalism. um so there's that angle. um so there is that, and my thoughts on it is, Ken Martin, are you a corporation or a political party? I don't care if private companies have brought people back. It is, if you have a staff member who wants to be in the office, let them be in the office. If you have a staff member who wants to be hybrid, let them be hybrid. Have multiple offices across the country. Who the fuck? They do, by the way, have
Yes, they
multiple
do.
offices across the
Hmm.
country.
Yeah.
But like, there's also like, there are some psychological benefits of some in-person activity, blah, 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 blah. But
Hmm.
hybrid minimum, if not work from home. But going back to the Republicans being straight up mercenaries. Yes, Angela.
Before we get to the mercenary part, just to build off what you're saying, I mean, I personally know multiple extremely talented people who are exactly the kind of people that we need to work at the DNC, who turned down jobs because even before the straight up full time back to the office edict, they were
Hmm.
insistent that folks had to come into the office, on a hybrid schedule,
Hmm.
the DC office. Now,
Right.
let me just say something here. If you want a broad, beautiful, hyper smart, adaptable staff of the best people out there, the best Democrats who are going to be able to get us out of the reputational hole that we are in. Would you
Hmm.
not think that having those folks represent the widest swath of Americans possible would make a lot of sense?
Yep.
That's so logical, Angela.
As opposed to not being required to be in the Beltway?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, just
Isn't
checking.
what people
Just
complain
checking,
about
because
all the
that's my thought.
time about the DC mindset, which by the way, you're not getting out of in
Right.
DC.
Right. And like I said, I mean, I'm not speaking anecdote. I mean, it's not an anecdote. Like I'm saying point
No.
blank. I have two different friends who turned down DNC jobs because of that requirement. And I just think that's stupidity. When it
Yeah.
when you're boxing yourself in and you're limiting, your options in terms of talent
Yeah.
acquisition.
Hmm.
And
It's
like, you
stupid.
want to have quarterly in persons? Okay.
Oh, listen, that is my personal
Yeah.
favorite of all the things is
Hmm.
everybody works remote. And
Hmm.
then once a quarter, your whole staff is in person for like 3 days
Yeah.
to 4 days where you're doing all of that brain work. That is truly, I believe that is the only thing that you sometimes can miss out on
Hmm.
through remote is the kind of breakthroughs that happen when you can languidly in-person spitball
Hmm.
creative,
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
But apparently, wanting to be work from home is not making us mercenary enough.
Oh, and it means that we're being treated that the Democratic operatives that work for the DNC are being treated like kindergartners.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
it's giving elephant in the Zoom.
Yes, it
We want
is.
to refer to that old cultural chestnut.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, it's giving elephant in the Zoom, and it's also kind of the whole premise is just effing stupid. Like, number one, I agree that we're not mercenaries.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
no, I don't
I
disagree
agree.
with that statement.
That part I actually agree with, but I don't think a 4 day work week versus a 5 day work week is the thing that changes that.
No.
Because also I'm here to tell you, and I think that Angela and Katie will back me up here. There are almost zero people that work in politics that really do their work that actually only work during their work hours.
Yeah,
Like
none of us.
Yeah.
None
nobody's
of us.
just working during their work hours. So
Yeah.
please go ahead and get fucked. But also like, and this I think comes to one of my biggest critiques of like almost the whole thing, and not the writer, right? But like the people she talked to is this is what you choose to focus on? Really? This is the
Well,
thing that you've chosen to focus on.
I feel
We'll
like
get more.
I feel like we'll
Yeah, we'll get
get to
more.
Hmm.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
It's a whole wide swath of opinion.
yes, this is
Yeah.
like a
Yeah, sure.
kaleidoscope. This article is a kaleidoscope. You shift it and then you're
Yes.
like, oh.
Hmm.
You shift it and you're like, oh, or maybe ew, or sometimes, but
Maybe,
like
yeah.
the point is, it is just like in an absence,
Hmm.
I mean, this is where there's an absence of strong message. So
Oh, we'll
yeah,
get there.
everyone's yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I'm
Uh,
gonna shut up and we're good.
anyway,
I'm gonna let you
another
Yeah, yeah.
quote.
I'm gonna let you go.
Here's another quote
Yeah.
to dive into. But
Hmm.
perhaps the deeper issue is that Democrats have historically focused too much on keeping their many constituent groups as happy as possible, sometimes at the expense of their principal goal, triumphing in elections so they can implement their policies. Quote, first and foremost, Democrats need to get much more ruthless about winning. Senator Elisa Slotkin of Michigan told me. This, she said, is not always compatible with the quote, weird consensus based leadership, end quote, that their leaders tend toward.
This one
Go
hurts
away.
me. This one hurts me because because you can say that without being so effing dismissive, Alyssa Slotkin, because actually there is truth there. There's a little truth there. Just a
A
little.
little bit, yes.
There's
Hmm.
a little bit of truth, which is pra- we, we need to be more pragmatic.
Hmm.
I believe that. And I don't
True.
think that's like controversial, and I don't think you have to sell folks down the river to do that.
Hmm.
But like the way she said that was dismissive and awful, which I think is like a consistent Alyssa Slotkin problem.
I
She
mean,
doesn't really
yes.
seem like someone you'd want to hang out with, TBH.
Not really, no.
Um, oh, Jesus God. I mean, whatever. I don't even get me started. I mean, because you do see this. You do see this. And it is not good when we are following. I'm gonna choose my words because I don't want to be misconstrued, but
Hmm.
because I'm certainly not talking about people's civil rights.
Sure.
There's a
Yeah.
big difference here. But like there are times on policy where we're following the lead of folks using very bad strategy as opposed to pushing back and saying like, hey, like there's a better roadmap to actually get to where we want to go.
Yeah, and I think there's like a, not wanting to, and again, as Angela, taking the civil rights issues out of this,
Hmm.
is there is a space where, if there's 50 people in a room and we want to enact X policy and five people don't agree with us, ah, Angela, you
Yeah,
put this
no, it's
really
just kind
well
of
the
like,
other night.
yeah, whoopsie, sorry. No,
But then you explain it. But then
yeah.
you explain it. Like, we know we can't get 100% of the way there, so we're going to take the 95%.
Right.
I mean, this is just this is literally politics. I mean, this is how you get things done. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's something that sits real wrong with me about the prattling about air quotes constituency groups. I want you to say what you mean.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like I want you because as I just
Because
tried to
which
do there,
ones?
that's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Like I think it's very facetious. I think it's I don't think it's good faith because a conversation that I might be having or trying to have about say balancing union priorities
Hmm.
and environmental priorities or X and Y is very different. If you're using constituencies and what you're trying to talk about as LGBTQIA plus issues, then you need to just effing say that. Like, don't be too cute by half.
No.
Use your words.
Like, right. I mean, like, yeah, if you mean LGBTQIA plus people, if you mean black and brown people, what you just could say that. Just say it. Um, because like again, some of the people that get talked to in this also maybe because of course James Carville is quoted.
We'll get there at the end.
What will we? Am I allowed to?
Fine.
Oh no, by all means, you
I was just
d
going to go in
direct
order
me.
in the article. He doesn't appear yet in my notes.
Well, that's because you forgot to fucking put him in because he comes before the Alyssa Slotkin thing, I think.
Anyway.
Or else slightly after, but in either case, it is relevant because, like he says, is the Democratic
Hmm.
Party doesn't exist to make people feel good. It exists to, and get this through your head, and that's like the wording he used, win elections. How do you propose that we would win elections, James? Um, by making people feel like shit all the time. Go ahead and explain that one to me. You know what? Actually, don't. I don't fucking care. Because nobody should care about this man's fucking opinion. Anyway, move on.
All right, next quote. This one's a little longer.
Uh-huh.
Anderson argues that in recent decades, the Democratic Party has developed an elitist problem that has caused it to lose its connection to many Americans. The migration of low income, non college educated voters to the GOP has accelerated. Scores of Black and Latino Americans joined Trump's coalition in 2024. Recent research suggests a significant shift in how voters perceive the parties. More people now believe that Republicans best represent the interests of the poor and working class, while Democrats are coming to be viewed as the party of rich elites. Parentheses. Ken Martin has called this reversal a damning indictment of the Democrats that's got to change. Um, Recent presidential election trends illustrate this turnabout. In 2012, Mitt Romney carried voters earning more than $100,000 a year by 10 percentage points. In 2024, Kamala Harris won them by 4 points. In 2012, Obama won voters making less than $50,000 a year by 22 points. In 2024, Trump won those voters by 2 points. I am going to start this one off and say, as somebody who lives in rural Pennsylvania, yeah, we have a fucking elitist problem.
Hey, sure,
Two
fine.
thumbs up.
And it's all the people in this fucking article, by the way.
Two thumbs up. Two thumbs up. All true. When you have Chuck Schumer say, basically, screw Western Pennsylvania,
Hmm.
why? Why? What do I go out there and say on doors? When people say
Right.
the F, what's my response? Which I'm going to shut up at that point because that sentence I just said, like the answer to that, I think is my main takeaway from this article. So I don't want to get
Hmm.
ahead of myself, but yeah, yes, yes.
Hmm.
All of
I
these
will,
things are real.
yeah, I will also say one of the further parts of a continuation of that quote is by the time we knock on their door in Pennsylvania first and said, I don't, it doesn't matter the rest of it. We fucking who? We who? Who's the fucking
Right.
we?
The words
Uh,
of my dad, you got a turd in your pocket,
yeah,
buddy?
yeah. Who the fuck is we? Uh, and this is where okay,
In
now I'm not
rural
allowed to talk
Pennsylvania,
again.
in
Yes.
rural Pennsylvania, in rural Pennsylvania, that doesn't
Mhm.
happen.
What do you mean?
People show up, just not where the three of us live.
But
Oh, yeah, yes, yes,
I get,
yes. The people
well,
knocking doors. Yeah,
I'm the exception. I still get
yeah, yeah.
however, all that being
I mean,
said,
I do too in presidential years
yeah.
and at no other time.
But my point is with we is once again, say, what if you talk to the people who are actually doing the work? What a novel idea. Um, but it is true. It's all true. And it was exacerbated by the massive, soul-crushing, I'm about to say like psyop, but I'm not
Mm,
saying COVID was a psyop.
right,
COVID
right,
was
right,
a
right.
pandemic.
COVID was
Okay.
a pandemic.
COVID was an actual pandemic, but the
Yeah.
psyop around the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
is really, really supercharged the situation. And it wasn't just the psyop, it was also the fact that we live in a capitalist hellscape and the folks who were essential workers, the folks who did not get to stay home
Mm-hmm.
were the folks who um were in I mean it's the working poor and middle class individuals. And to reiterate, no one, this is caused by capitalism. This was not caused by the Democratic or Republican Party, but um, the result is that it further fed in to this simmering rage towards elites.
Yeah.
And when we were the ones saying, guys, we gotta stay home. And, I mean, we bore the brunt of that. And you can't what once again, like I feel like if there's anything that I want us to take out of the last, you know, 15 months in the wilderness, almost 15 months in the wilderness, it's it's okay to talk about real things, even if they're not
Yes.
convenient,
Yes.
And like it's okay to
Yes.
talk, it's okay to say, yeah, that happened. Like that actually happened, and people had every rational right to feel, you know, the way they felt and to have emotions around that.
Yeah. And I mean, personal experience. Um, I work from home. I am a white collar worker. My spouse is a blue collar tradesperson. My spouse has always leaned conservative, independent conservative, but with the psyop to reference what you used during the pandemic, had to go to work. Tradesperson, right? Things had to keep running. Um, got incredibly red pilled during the pandemic. Um, and that is a thing. And even just like relationship things with us, right? Like that has shifted. Um, so
That's
like,
how the best psyops, the best, it works. They work.
yeah,
Conspiracy psyops, conspiracy theories, narrative building. It works because what's at the base is true.
yeah,
And then so once you're playing off that thing, which is this is not fair, and that's true. It was deeply unfair.
yes,
It was deeply
yes.
unfair. So once you have people there, right, and that's true, and they know it in their head and their hearts, and they already feel, a certain way around that, you can spin from there. I mean, that's like, psychologically like
Oh,
easy
yeah.
to build off of that in ways that are, um,
Nobody cares about me, etc.
yeah, and you can manipulate
Mm-hmm.
that nugget of truth. And so I just we're we're smart. We're smart people. And I just want us to talk about this stuff in a way that's more like intelligent and nuanced.
But also, no. We'll get to that. I think I pulled a quote later. Sounding smart ain't the point. But I'm
Well,
gonna
no,
go,
no, no, no. But
yeah,
I'm saying
yeah. With
within
us.
the
With
party,
us. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when we're talking within the party about a path forward,
Yeah.
like we have to be clear-eyed on how we got here.
And I'm gonna be like, I mean, whew, um this next quote actually kind of goes into, well, there's a lot of things I think we can spend an entire episode on messaging, frankly. Um, but like I think of messaging that was done, last year, and I'm just like that doesn't resonate. You can't say that in places that I live and I go to, and like the fuck, that's just more elitist bullshit. And I hear this living in a majority Republican town, right? But the next quote, and this is my favorite. And this is one of the quotes that I may have referenced in the sisters' Discord. But what if the main divide among Democrats today is not, as so many assume, progressive versus moderate? Slotkin told me that is it Mendami or is it Spanberger is kind of an outdated approach. The more consequential split, she said, is between leaders willing to fight and go on offense and those content to wait Trump out. Here, I agree with her. I really agree with her.
Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
However, I refuse. Alyssa Slotkin, they did not. I
well,
know, I know that they did this article over a very long period of time. And so
Hmm.
they were not dating when they spoke to each of these people or when these quotes are from. But I just am loath to give her any credit conceptually for this idea because I mean, directly after the November election,
Hmm.
we were saying you have to push back. Do not allow people to drag us into this asinine
Yep.
um, you know, what does this mean? Do we move more centrist? Do we move more?
No,
That's
no,
not the conversation.
I
That's a
want
false binary. It's a false choice.
I want to destroy third way. There, I said it in a public space. I think they need to get their heads out of their fucking asses. Here's the thing: a moderate Democrat and a progressive Democrat believe in 95% of the exact same things. They just have different fucking messages and ways of acting. It is the same Democratic Party platform, like 95% of it. There's
That's
no
not
fucking difference.
also different communities have
Yes,
different needs. Run authentic candidates. And this is, just to spin it around. Yay, yay, Pennsylvania. We're awesome because guess what? We already know this. We already knew it. It's how we held the house.
exactly. And it goes back to our 10 commandments. Know the race you're running for. Know the race you're running for. Don't talk about issues that aren't related to your race. This
And know
whole
your
thing is
district. And
like,
know your district and be authentic. That's it. And that's
yes,
it. It is a preposterous and it's I the reason you've had such cacophony of postmortems and white papers and little 1 to 2 day conferences that cost a couple $1 million just so somebody can get a quote in the New York Times, um, is I really think that like folks who don't work in politics need to understand that why you are seeing this is because this is the consultant class fighting over who's going to get the money for the next 4 years. That's
yep.
all. That's all. That's what you're seeing. This is just jockeying. It is it is everyone trying out branding exercises to see who can get the most attention. And I feel like it's important for us to look at all these things that are being proffered and just take little bits from each one of them that seem to work.
Hmm.
Why? Because none of these people, the reason that an any normal person would say, let me take a look at all the ideas out there and I'm going to see like what seems good, what seems valid and for the moment. The reason that that can't happen is because these people aren't going to share the pot of money. So it's on us to do that. It's on us to
Hmm.
be to be intellectually responsible
Yeah.
because all of these siloed ideas are siloed because, it's about who's getting the funding.
Yeah. And I think this is a decent segue into the next one. Um, Plattner. No,
I'm
but this is good.
sorry.
This is good.
No, I'm just laughing.
I know. Blatner's broader argument is that although his campaign is focused on the quote, material conditions that people are living in, end quote, hospital closures, housing shortages, affordability, he's not willing to compromise on social issues at the expense of vulnerable populations. Quote, I don't think there's any value, both morally but also politically, in selling people out, Plattner said. It's wonderful. I think that goes back to the authenticity. It goes back to knowing the district. Like, I mean, I have thoughts about Plattner. That's a whole different, not right now. But I think the big thing is that goes right back to the elitist thing as well. Um,
That the quote
you,
is great.
yeah,
The quote is great.
yeah.
We won't open the Platinum Pandora's box at this point because like legitimately like I don't think it's that hard for us to find a populist candidate that doesn't have a giant Nazi tattoo.
I mean, yeah,
But
yeah. I think there is
I didn't like the
no,
normalization around that. Like, oh, like everyone's got a anti-Semitic Nazi tattoo. No, they don't. They really
yeah.
don't.
And I think, but the point is there, and like it was said in the context, um, because there's this whole section of this article that talks about like being woke and all of that stuff. And I think it goes back to you can run on issues that are affecting your district, on issues like if you are running for an office that can do something, like I think about Mondami's race, right? He ran on simple things and already like their housing stuff has already kicked off. People are happy. They're getting their complaints answered. That is a real thing. How much did, and I don't remember, I didn't follow 100% of the damn campaign and I don't live in New York City, but like how much did he spend on quote unquote woke issues? Right? Of course he referenced them, but he talked a lot about housing and transit and access to food. Does that mean he's going to sell out the most vulnerable? No.
I just want to say again, just like I said when these people keep talking about constituencies, say what you mean,
Right?
because what exactly, at this point, what's a woke issue? Because if you're just talking about trans people, just say you're talking about trans people, because at this point, the fuck's a woke issue?
I mean, with the Trump administration, anything that could be under a DEI umbrella, which Lord knows at this point. But if we're doing counter,
Yeah, I just feel like you shouldn't even like, you can't accept their premises at this
nope.
point. They're so preposterous. You
Yeah.
know, there are things I think that are reasonable to have conversations about.
Hmm.
I I don't think the value of diversity is one of them.
Well, and this is a segue into Representative Jason Crow of Colorado, who co-leads the Democrats' candidate recruiting efforts for the House, told me Democrats need to project confidence in their policy positions. People respond to confidence and they respond to strength. But because Trump and the Republicans have been so effective in slapping extreme liberal caricatures on their opponents, Democrats are gun shy. We can't be apologetic for our own positions and second guessing ourselves and being weak and timid about it, Crow said.
You just do. You just do what you feel is morally right. You say, this is my position.
And
This is where we're.
shockingly, so many of the same representatives and senators and politicos at the national level who are always saying these things run from our values at the first sign of trouble. Run screaming. So, you know, do with that what you will. I can't wait, by the way, to hear this conversation when I'm editing because I took off I had to take off my headset at some point. I ran downstairs for everybody's information. Well, you would know because I left my camera on the whole time like a dum-dum. Um but I had to run downstairs and start a Canvas launch. So
Yeah.
I'm back though.
All right. These days, the far left is attracting a lot of the party's money, media attention, and crowds. But whether this energy on the left represents the Democrats' path to restoration or to electoral doom depends on who you ask or which white paper you read. A remarkable 66% of Democrats say they have a positive view of socialism, compared with only 42% for capitalism, according to an August Gallup poll.
Okay. And
Oh no, I'm just picking out quotes for discussion.
yeah. To this I say, hang on, sorry. To this I say, um, have people, I would do an opinion poll, but it's not an opinion poll. It's a can you define this poll. Like, these are some of the opinions that I care the least about. Um, I want to know what people know and care about on issues, and what are the words that will help them get to, ultimately that policy goal. This whole like, oh, people care about this many people don't like capitalism and this many people like socialism and I don't fucking care. Who cares?
The reality is that people
It's
feel
punditry.
the least they feel the least positive about their prospects
Yeah.
um than they ever have, according to polling, or as
Well,
long as
yeah.
polling's existed,
Yeah, no,
which is
imagine
pretty
my
wild.
shock.
No, exactly. But like, so like
Hmm.
the basic reality of the situation is if people know that they currently live under capitalism, but what they're seeing is unfettered capitalism with no regulation whatsoever that is driving income inequality and their life sucks. Of course, they're going to be like, I want whatever's not this.
Mhm.
I mean, and they don't, it doesn't mean that they want to be, they want, communism or like it just doesn't. It's just they know they don't like what they have and it's not working.
Yeah. And I think this goes back to the whole conversation about how it is not moderate versus progressive. Everybody's on the same page here. Everybody's on the same page here. With both of you off
Right.
screen, like
I'm
I'm by
here. I'm back.
myself.
I'm back. I'm
Okay.
back.
Okay. And I think that's a lot like yes, this is scrolling down towards the bottom of the article where we get more stuff. But I think it really speaks to folks who, and this also, again, we need an entire episode on messaging, not like how to do it, but like where people fuck
Yeah.
up. Um, because it's really funny. And I will keep fucking telling people this.
Hmm.
Republicans vote for us here in my
Yeah.
town.
Hmm.
We're all pretty freaking quote unquote progressive people. I fucking hate it.
Hmm.
But we talk about what matters to people. That goes back to what Plattner was saying. That goes back to these polls. That goes back to the it's not progressive or moderate, but that it is fight or not fight.
Hmm.
The last quote that I pulled, not the end, because I think the end, I feel like Angela's going to have some things to say about like the last three paragraphs of this article.
Hmm.
But here's another fucking quote that I'm going to fucking read
Hmm.
everybody.
Yay.
A big thing for Democratic politicians these days is to swear a lot, as if by appearing pissed off and profane, they show how raw and real they are. Since February 2025, they have sworn more often than their Republican counterparts, according to a Washington Post analysis of social media posts and public remarks. The big wins, they just keep piling up for the Democrats. It's an article. One detects in this penchant for profanity a whiff of overcompensation, an effort by Democrats to prove that they can talk working class. Ken Martin says that the party needs to stop being so cautious. The problem we have as Democrats is we throw a punch and then we pull it back, he told me. We don't want to get canceled by someone in our party. I was eager to test this proposition, given that Martin is steeped in the cautious language of the Democratic Big Tent. God forbid he ever utter something hurtful or make someone feel, double God forbid, unsafe or triggered. You know what? I'm an OG profanity user, as you all fucking know. Um,
Hmm.
if Nancy Pelosi was like swearing a lot or Chuck Schumer was swearing a lot, I'd probably be turned off.
Why? Say more.
Chuck Schumer swearing. Hold on, I'm gonna do my Schumer
Mm-hmm.
era.
Your shimmer area. Yeah. Hmm.
Hold on one second. Just make it better.
Yeah.
My Schumer era.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, someone who does this,
Yeah.
dropping F-bombs and using real swears and not sugar. Um,
Yeah,
fine.
it's not their personality.
No, it's not. And we can all see through that shit.
Yes, which is to say, just be who you fucking are. If you're not a person that swears, don't swear. If you are, then do. Like, just be you. That's fine. And so here's, I would like to posit this, and I apologize if it's already been gone over. Um, Throughout this article, the the obsession with the fear of, oh my God, what if somebody cancels me? No, 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 no. What you're afraid of is somebody criticizing you. That is what you're afraid of. And by the way, because I did when I was scrolling down to find this particular where you're at, right? I caught the moment where Plattner didn't, do the whole LGBTQI blah blah blah. Um, and they were like, and he regretted it. He corrected himself and he fucking moved on. Jesus
He was
Christ.
fine. I thought that was totally fine, and I don't like
Yeah.
Glenn Plattner.
Just
I was like, you got close, buddy. You got close.
like
You know, it's a lot. It's a
literally,
lot. It's a lot.
and this is just like, and this is, the issue with let's take trans people for example, right? The issue is not that trans people are so delicate. They're not. They're not allowed to be. They can't possibly be because society is not great for them. Okay. So, yeah, no, that's not a thing. If you screw up somebody's pronouns or their identity or whatever, correct yourself and move on. And if that hurts you to your core, I would posit that you're the fucking pussy. Yeah.
Sounds reasonable to me. Don't I don't like I don't what I don't like in that quote is we're using swearing. So when you say swearing and cursing, I assume you
Hmm.
mean like just swear words.
Yeah.
But then you're using triggered or offended and connecting it to cancel culture. I
It's
think
not the
then
same thing.
what you're trying to get at is slurs and hateful speech.
Hmm.
And like those are two different buckets, man. Like why are I mean that's just lazy to conflate these things.
It is. Like there's a difference between being offended because somebody said a swear
You're not
and
offended. I feel like people aren't offended. They're just like I
uh,
don't like that.
yeah, no, and I mean it's fine. Like whether you're offended or whether that's just
Yeah.
not your cup of tea and it doesn't like bother you on that level, whatever. Like, but that's a different bucket than, for example, somebody using a legitimate slur.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's when you get, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
and I know that the author was deliberately using the words, triggered with an air
Yes.
quote and unsafe with an air quote, which is
Mhm.
really shitty. Um,
It
that
is.
it's
Who wrote this article? But oh, Mark Leibovich. That explains it. Now everything explains itself. But I
yes.
mean, also like that's the Atlantic in a nutshell. Is they at this point, I think a lot of it exists to just like wring their hands about how it's too exhausting to I don't know be an affluent white person or something. I don't know.
You
Um,
sound you're getting you're getting close to that Vox article I want to talk about.
we sure are. We sure are. Yeah.
What's your next
Mhm.
quote, Katie? You got a next quote? You
Far
do
as I
have a
got.
what?
That's as far as I got, but I was going to let you talk about your suppositions around Carville at the end.
Oh, well, okay.
Mm.
Will you read it? Will you read the quote from
Oh,
that?
hold on
Set
one
it
second.
up. Set it up. Set the table for me, baby.
Okay,
Set the table.
I will set the table for you. Last year, I'll do the last two paragraphs.
Okay, great.
Last year, James Carville was criticized in some circles for his argument that Democrats would be best served by staying out of the way, suppressing their penchant for self harm, and simply waiting for Trump and the Republicans to self immolate, which is essentially what they've done. Carville's theory was and remains controversial. His critics point to the lasting damage Trump has inflicted everywhere since his rapacious return to office, while the Democrats have looked on haplessly. But as the 2026 midterms approach, Carville's advice seems likely to be vindicated. Essentially, do no harm, strive to remain at least in the ballpark of normal, and bank on one huge built in advantage. Opposition parties typically do well in midterms. Also, the past 10 years have shown repeatedly that Republicans vote far less reliably when Trump is not on the ballot. Finally, for all the blundering, there remain just two viable political parties in the United States, and the Democrats are still one of them, despite themselves. No party wants to lose America, as the white papers put it, but when the other side is destroying it, there are worse things to be than the alternative. Have at it.
I know that we hate James Carville. I know that there is no love for the Raging Cajun for a million and one reasons, and there are 7,000 things that he has said in the last 3 years that make you want to, should make everyone want to yeet his dust, dusty old husk of a body, you know, off a bridge. All of that being said, I think this is 100% accurate. I don't think that means, I mean, very obviously, we had to react around immigration because it was real and it was happening. And I think that was, I I don't think that Democratic Party leadership has reacted to has reacted to mass deportations and ICE invading cities. I think their reaction has been extraordinarily milk toast. All of that being said, do no harm, be normal. I mean, somehow in the inaction and not just all these white papers, we still keep winning, and we still have the ability to shape that. We have an open opportunity still to decide what the future looks like. And I do agree with the whole be normal thing, which folks who have talked to me about this know. I mean, just look at them, look at them. And it's terrible, but in a lot of ways, our own inaction has sped up this speed run of hell. And by our own, I mean the Democratic Party leadership in Congress and the Senate. The, we are heading into the midterms, seeing a a full expression of their vision for America. And it is fucking terrible and it's fucking awful and it is terrible that they have unleashed this suffering and pain around on so many Americans, that there are Americans who are dead, that there are Americans who are going to die because they can't afford their health care. I mean, but also, this is the full expression. This is them. And maybe folks needed to see that. And I don't know how else to say that. I don't know how to say it. Like, so maybe in the end, the fact that Congress and Senate did fuck all helps us get out of this mess faster. I don't know. I guess that's what I have to say, is that I don't technically disagree with the conclusion of this article.
I do. And
I relate.
I actually think that you argued pretty compellingly for me. Thank you. Which is to say that like Democrats would be best served by staying out of the way, suppressing their staying out of the way over and 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 over. What do voters keep saying? Is it the Democrats look like ineffectual idiots who are doing nothing? So perhaps actually, and I think we've seen this in the people that are winning
Yeah,
over and over
fighters,
again,
fighters.
is fight. I ain't standing out of the way of shit.
You shouldn't. But Chuck Schumer, maybe it's good that he did because maybe we'll get new leadership. Maybe we'll
I mean,
get a new path
yes.
forward. That was my point.
Yes. But I don't think that's not what James Carville meant, though.
No, but he ended up being right in the fucked up way.
Yes, he ended up being right, not in the way that he meant to be right. So yes, maybe that means that we get rid of like old leadership that should have made way for new leadership long ago. Great. But that's not what James Carville means. And when exactly the kind of Chuck Schumery Democrats that read it, they're gonna agree with what he means, which is that they should just keep doing the thing that is screwing us with voters over and over again. And at the end of the day, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. Someday, knock on wood, hopefully Trump won't be in office. And we will have to do something.
Well, that's really when it ges interesting, doesn't
So
it?
it feels to me um like there's no time to prepare to be ready to do that, like the present. Because I am not trying to get to like 2028 and again, like knock on wood, dear whoever you pray to, please. Let's say we win. If we're not prepared to hit the ground running, and we don't get prepared to do that by standing around with our metaphorical dicks in our hands. And I know that's not what you meant, but
But
that
they're
is
not
exactly what
gonna.
James Carville meant.
Yeah, but the reality is they're not gonna do that. Their big solution was putting some fucking QR codes on ICE agents or
Right,
body
which is
cameras,
why
which
we
will
need new
just see.
leadership for sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
body cameras on ICE agents. All that's
yeah,
gonna do is
that's
feed all our facial
dumb as fuck.
recognition information into Palantir.
Hmm. Well, and like I just today I was like scrolling on Blue Sky and I saw a clip of Hakeem Jeffries in an interview uh where indeed somebody was pointing out how patently ridiculous it is to say that like reforming ICE should even be a thing. There's nothing to reform here. This is a thing that was awful from conception. Um, get rid of it. And they were like, why don't you think you should lead on like abolish ICE? And then, it says a little bit more. And then Hakeem Jeffries is just like, I don't even know what you're saying. You know exactly what this person is saying, representative. You know exactly what they're saying. Speaker, excuse me. Um, and this, so yes, if these people sitting on their hands and being the worst means that we get new leadership, great. But in the meantime, the rest of us, and there are so many more of the rest of us, have to do things.
No, we're great. I'm talking about these fucks.
No,
We're
I know,
great.
I know.
Everyone's got to be out there. I mean, the
At the end
people
of the day,
are
that's my
heroes.
whole thing is
Yes.
why. Like, for somebody who seemed to bemoan the number of white papers that various progressive leaning or Democrat whatever groups have done, um, I this is just like the regurgitation of a bunch of white papers,
Well, and
like out of people's mouths.
this also goes back to what we discussed at the top, which is this article is focused on national Democrats. not
Right.
the rest of us.
Yeah. And I would love for any of the larger media outlets to like take a minute and be like, let's ignore every national Democrat and just pick like a couple places and find some people to talk to. Not in a diner.
I think they did a really good job. I think there were a lot of outlets who did a really good job at doing that in Minneapolis. And the
No,
things
that
that
is very true. That is
And the
extremely,
things
that is
that
very true.
people were
Yes.
saying were amazing. My
Hmm.
favorite was that guy who was just like literally looked like any 52-year-old guy you've ever met.
Hmm.
And he was like, I got up off my fucking couch to be here. I don't even do shit like this. And I was like, this,
Hmm.
see, this is what I'm saying. Like, I,
Yeah.
I mean, it comes, it's all gonna come down
Hmm.
to us. And when I, I want to point out that the subheader
Hmm.
of this article was called "The Democrats Aren't Built for This." And I want to say something. I agree
Yeah.
with that as
We're
well.
not.
But I'm
I mean, no,
saying,
that's
but what
also
I'm,
true.
but what I'm saying
The
is this.
National Party.
I'm talking, okay, I want to draw a clear line between
Hmm.
the structural Democratic Party
Yes.
and our congressional and Senate
Yes.
delegations.
Yeah.
Clear line between that and the people on the ground who are the
Hmm.
ones who are actually going to have to fight fascism.
Yeah. Um,
Because
yeah.
those people are getting ready and they are
Yeah.
full of rage and they are full of righteous indignation and they are full of love for their neighbors.
Yes.
Now,
Absolutely.
I think that's what it takes. That's what it takes to fight fascism, you know?
I
So,
do. I
like,
do think I agree with you full like wholeheartedly there. And I think like um yeah, I guess my takeaway is largely that these people, the national level Democrats, and I also don't necessarily mean like just members of the DNC, right? Because every single state and territory has elected members of the DNC that are mostly members of their state parties.
and we love some of them dearly.
And we love some of them dearly. We do. Ours in particular, right? Uh, many of them. Uh, but yeah, just I even say this passionately loving Malcolm Kenyatta, who is now a vice chair of the DNC. I love him so much. And I think he's doing great. I think a lot of the rest of this is makes me roll my eyes and also is the reason why when I see articles like this, I can only kind of scan them. Because number one, I'm never gonna get that time back. I'm glad we talked about it, but I'm also never gonna get that time back.
I mean,
I'm of two minds.
the big takeaway for me was hearing, and again, I don't like Plattner either. Um,
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. No.
I mean, Rep Crow, okay. Um,
Yeah.
fucking, but the breadth of folks spoken to, and there's numerous other people
Yeah.
in this article for our listeners, is cool. Um, this goes back to our campaign 10 commandments. Be
Hmm.
authentic, be humble, blah, blah,
Just
blah.
be who
And
you
I'm going to
fucking
say it
are.
right now. Like, I truly, 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 truly really like my congressional candidate for this cycle.
Me
An
too. I love your
amazingly
congressional candidate.
nice, an amazingly nice, smart, absolutely could be an amazing congressman. But this is the kind of stuff where we get elitist brands when we are in the bluest part of the district at an art museum for a campaign launch. When a prior candidate for that seat showed up to county fairs in a suit. I have the most rural, most Republican congressional district in the state of Pennsylvania. This goes back to authenticity that was discussed. This goes back to the stupid moderate versus progressive stuff that we discussed while Gillian wasn't here. Um, but I think it's like, stop it. Be real. Know the issues that people in your district give a fuck about. And those were the best takeaways from that article. We're hearing some of the perspectives on that, which is shit all of us have been saying for quite a long time.
Right, which is the other frustrating thing. It's just like anytime some of these people trip over a point, it's like, welcome to the fucking party, my friend. We've
Yeah,
been sitting here for a decade. Where have you been?
awful.
Awful.
It's time for awful.
Yes. What is
I don't
awful?
even know. I feel like, whew,
Yeah.
whew.
Or did we just take a journey and we need a special bonus episode?
Well, I think we're gonna bifurcate this. We're gonna bifurcate this.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
I like, I like, I think, I think we could do an entire bonus episode on awful.
Hmm.
How do you feel about that?
We could do that. So, we had a weird, it's probably a weird edit there, but we are going to talk about another article in a bonus episode. Um, so you can hear about awful uh in our bonus. I will it's gonna be Patreon only for a little bit. Um, we'll probably release it publicly at some point, but for now it'll be Patreon only. So if you want to check out that bonus episode, you should join our Patreon at patreon.com/the Night Caucus, and then you will be able to see it sooner. Um, but we are yeah, so we're gonna bring the train in for a landing. Zoom. Uh and talk about listen this is a dog. If you're not watching, you won't see a tiny dog zooming through the air. um so listen, there's so much right now, so much. In fact, when this episode comes out, it'll be the day after petition started, so that means I hope that you will be looking for um petition collection opportunities to get our folks on the ballot because that they need that. Um, and just generally, being out there for our candidates and get this going. Obviously, the special elections are coming up too, so lots and lots of opportunities to help out and elect better people. And we do hope that you do that. Um, so I'll have lots of information in the show notes, so you can check that out. But otherwise, let's I will edit that, skip out. In any case, we're cooked for this episode. We're heading over to a bonus. And so many thanks to my co-witches, Katie and Angela. I have been Jillian. Don't forget to follow us on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, blah blah blah, at the Night Caucus. Follow. You can subscribe and listen or watch on Spotify, Apple Pods, also YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube now. So go do that and become a supporter at patreon.com/the Night Caucus. And we'll see you next time.